Hey there, everyone. I'm Meteorologist Carly Smith. Thanks for joining us on this live stream. We are talking everything you want to know, but I will save some of the details about the winter weather forecast for next Tuesday, because I'm going to do a deep dive into the coastal bend climatology, Corpus Christi climate, and so feel free to post your questions that you have about the winter weather forecast now, so I'm sure I will be able to answer them on Tuesday. But I want to thank y'all all for joining. I'm trying to pull it up on my phone now so I can get to your questions, and we're going to get started. So the first thing I want to show you, we started with this yesterday if you watched the stream then, is the drought monitor. Now when we zoom out, Texas of course dealing with some of the worst drought across the United States, also Louisiana dealing with some of that as well. The good news is the winter weather outlook, when we're heading into an El Nino winter, what that means is the South typically sees a wetter winter. So NOAA is forecasting that we are going to see some relief on our drought. It's not forecasting the drought becoming eradicated or gone, but what that does mean is we will likely see improvements on our drought monitor across not only Texas but much of the southeast there. So what is El Nino? We're familiar with that here, being in the tropical location where we are impacted by tropical storms and hurricanes. We're more familiar with the El Nino, La Nina than a lot of other places across the United States, but essentially that starts in the Pacific Ocean. There's also Atlantic oscillations that impact our weather as well. Each ocean basin has oscillations that it goes through and impacts the weather, but of course the Pacific is the largest and tends to have the greatest impact. So warmer than average sea surface temperatures are being recorded, and NOAA is forecasting that this only strengthens, that we only see warmer temperatures than average into the winter. And so essentially what that means is we expect that southern jet to be more enhanced, and that would bring wetter conditions across the southern half of the United States. Tends to be drier in the Midwest and warmer across the north than normal. So remember, that doesn't mean you can't get 1 week of harsh winter weather, and that doesn't mean it's going to be like summertime, but what it does mean is warmer than normal temperatures tend to happen across the north. Now, this is not NOAA's outlook. This is just a typical El Nino winter model range. NOAA's has shifted where there's a little bit more wet conditions across the southeast and into Florida. Drier conditions are a little bit further north, and when we're seeing rain, we tend to be cooler, but mild conditions really are more expected down here into South Texas heading into winter. So I would expect about average temperatures for us. And fun fact, average is still 70 almost for a high in December, about 67 to 68 for your high in January, and 71 to 72 for your high in February. Our average low only falls to 48.0 for January. So overall, our winters tend to be mild. Like I mentioned, none of this means we can't get one extreme week here or there, right? But our average rainfall is 4.61, so we are expecting more rainfall than that heading into winter. Hottest temperature ever recorded in the winter, 97, coldest 11 there. So that's what we're looking at in terms of our winter. So coming up next Tuesday, I'm really going to break down what previous El Nino winters looked like in the coastal bend, specifically in Corpus Christi, because that's where the climate data site is. The next cold front, we're going to talk about the potential for another cold front next week, how strong it is. All those details will be a little bit more fine-tuned by Tuesday, whether or not the front makes it into our area or not. And then we'll have a Halloween forecast. Can y'all believe it? Halloween is less than 2 weeks away. I cannot believe it. So let's see. Tony says, good morning. Hey, Zach. Yeah. Not hot. Okay. I need colder weather in South Texas. It's too hot. Yeah. It's only going to be hot today and into next week. We're still talking mild and humid conditions, but there is a chance for cooler weather heading into next weekend, and there is a chance it is a bit rainy heading into next weekend as well. But what we are looking at for our next Facebook Live, that's going to be on Tuesday, at least from me. I will be doing one next Tuesday. We'll talk about Halloween, the next cold front, and I'll really break down what previous El Nino winters looked like in Corpus Christi. I'm going to take the weekend to really gather all of those details. So now let's get into the forecast for today. So right now we have a near record high possible for your temperature this afternoon. 94 is expected. The current record is 96. That was back in 2016. Let me know if you remember that. How cool would it get next week? Next week is mid to upper 80s, pending rain. Trending cooler for the weekend, but nothing too cold. That's for Sophie. Debbie says, I love the weather. I love the weather too. Earlier today during First Edition, I was like, you know what, Jazz Fest is going to be warm, but I personally would rather have warm temperatures than cold temperatures. And I think that's why the majority of us, if we have decided to make this home, is because we enjoy the warmer temperatures over the colder temperatures. But I will say this summer was extremely hot. We had the hottest summer on record, the most triple-digit air temperature days ever recorded, the hottest heat index ever recorded. So cool down, this last cool down was really nice, but we are trending, overnight lows are trending warmer, afternoon highs are trending a little cooler into next week, and I'll break that down in just a second. But this is your forecast this evening for Jazz Fest. Light winds, that's a positive. Typically our winds are rather breezy, especially the closer you are to the bay. So you can expect light winds. They're kind of variable, but they'll be southeast shifting southwest through the night, and temperatures falling into the 70s as the sun sets, because we're still going to have some drier air. And essentially what's happening is we've got a cold front that's technically going to slide into our area with a kind of more of a dry line associated with it. So it's going to act more like a dry line. And that dry line is separating where the humid areas versus the dry air. And we're going to have our humidity drop this afternoon, which is normal, but it's going to drop a little bit more than normal. And so we'll be drier, and essentially what that's going to do is help boost our temperatures even hotter. So I know that's a little tricky explanation, but hopefully these graphics help. As we get our southeast wind back, our humidity goes back up, and you're really going to notice that over the weekend, unfortunately. So one of the main reasons our humidity is going up is we're going to see onshore wind return. So we're going to see more southeast wind, and it's going to get breezier to even windier heading into next week. So we're talking 17 miles per hour on Sunday, but we're talking sustained 20 miles per hour with gusts closer to 30 miles per hour nearly every single day next week. Another reason we're going to see more humidity and more moisture has to do with the tropics. So taking a look at our tropical overview, we've got Hurricane Tammy. We've got a new chance for development right there near Central America. Essentially, all of these areas of development, and additionally, where we have Hurricane Norma, all of this really is going to do is help lead to more tropical moisture in South Texas, bumping up our humidity. And so we'll start to notice that Sunday as we see more cloud coverage, and that moisture is going to be coming from Norma. And then as we continue into next week, we'll see that as well. I do have a future cast coming up, so if you're watching for that, hold on. The fog this morning was unexpected. Yeah, I will say, fog forecasting for the next morning is something I definitely could improve on, Debbie. But because I'm so focused, when I'm working First Edition, I'm focused on getting you out the door, and I'm focused on getting you through the day. And sometimes I kind of forget about what it's going to be like the next morning. So I will work on improving that. But additionally, fog is one of the most difficult things to forecast because it's so close to the surface. Like it's surface level, and our models are more tapping into things at least 10 meters above the ground and higher. And sometimes the fog is shorter than that. So it is very difficult to forecast fog sometimes because the models kind of miss out on that. And But I will say it is possible, and it's something I can do. And I will work more on forecasting for the next morning during first edition as well. So anyway, 92 for today, but Jazz Fest more so this evening, as you just saw. 90 for Heritage Park on Saturday, Sunday 88. So more cloud coverage will keep us cooler, but look at those lows. Those lows are trending warmer, right? So by Sunday with more moisture, there's gonna be less of a difference between our low temperature and our high temperature. For the weekend in general in Corpus Christi, we've got 91 warm conditions, humid and breezy there on Sunday. Winds picking up, that's the main thing to note. So breaking everything down now on Futurecast. Are you ready? Okay, so wind is light and variable today, clear skies, lots of sunshine, it's hot, right? As we continue into Saturday, high pressure builds over the Gulf of Mexico, increasing our southeast onshore winds. Then we're going to see moisture coming up out of the Pacific Ocean. That is streaming into Texas, and that's going to increase our kind of high, thin, wispy clouds at first. But with our surface moisture also increasing, we'll likely see more clouds at all levels of the atmosphere. But a lot of upper level moisture is coming from the Pacific Ocean and what is left of Hurricane Norma as we continue into the weekend and early next week. Now, a spotty shower may be possible on Sunday, but I wouldn't count on it. Rain chances start to go up into Monday as we tap more into that Gulf moisture. Then by Tuesday and Wednesday, the remnants of Norma's getting stretched apart and moving across Texas ahead of the next cold front. So this is the cold front I'm really going to dive into during my next Facebook Live on Tuesday of next week. But this front looks like it's going to kind of stall and hang out right there across kind of northwest Texas area. And so as it does so, that is going to keep us still with a strong southeast wind and a chance for rain, a daily chance for rain as we head into next week. How far south that front gets will impact your next weekend forecast, which I know is a big one for Halloween plans, festivals, especially kids' school festivals, church festivals, and things like that. So there we go. Humidity, that's the main thing. The main thing I want you to leave this Facebook Live with knowing it's going up. You're really going to notice it next week. That also means our rain chances are increasing. So as that high pressure slides over the southeast, what we're really going to notice is our moisture increasing. Rain will be heaviest across North Texas and West Texas, but we still at least have a chance of rain because of this weather pattern setup. So at least we're not at zero, but again, it doesn't look like much. If you're hoping for rain, I wish I could tell you that there's more in the forecast. As far as the 7-day forecast goes, this is what we're gonna end this on. So if you have a question, ask it now. What we are going to see is as our humidity increases, those high temperatures fall a little bit, but the low temperatures really increase. So 73 to 87, not a big difference between leaving your house in the morning and coming home during the day on Tuesday. However, you notice rain Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. That's not going to be widespread. That's not going to be all day. It's not going to be persistent. But some spotty showers are going to be possible as our moisture increases. So another thing I didn't do a great job of highlighting in this Facebook Live is our wind. The wind will be, again, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We're talking sustained out of the southeast at about 20 miles per hour. So that is all that I have for you on this wonderful Friday. If you want to, let me know which activities you're going to over the weekend if we haven't mentioned them. And additionally, let's see what else. Oh, I'll post some links. So Alan, last night, Chief Meteorologist Alan Holt wrote a great write-up about El Nino and winter and what that means for us. So I will post that link in the comments for anybody that's watching this now or later, and then you can click that and read more details. But again, I plan on going into more Corpus Christi specific details on Tuesday. So I hope to see you then. For now, don't forget to download our app if you haven't already.